If you're planning a trip to Madeira and you've been going back and forth, trying to figure out where to actually base yourself, this video is going to save you a lot of time. Because where you stay on this island genuinely shapes your entire experience. And the answer is completely different depending on what kind of traveler you are. I'm breaking down the three main areas: Funchal in the south, the dramatic west coast around Porto Moniz, Seixal and Calheta, and the lush, quiet north around Santana and São Vicente. I'll tell you exactly who each area suits, what you'll love, and what the trade-offs are. So by the end of this, you'll know exactly where you belong. Let's get into it. Funchal is Madeira's capital, and for most first-time visitors, this is the obvious starting point. And honestly, for good reason. It sits in a natural amphitheater facing the Atlantic, with terracotta rooftops climbing the hillside and cable cars drifting up above the old town. It's vibrant, walkable, and the best connected base on the island, which makes it a genuinely smart choice if this is your first trip. The old town, the Zona Velha, is where you want to spend your evenings. Narrow, cobbled streets, murals on every door, restaurants spilling outside, and the famous Madeira wine flowing freely. And the Mercado dos Lavradores, the farmers' market, is an absolute must. Go in the morning, pick up passion fruit and exotic fruits you've never seen before. Eat cheaply and brilliantly, and soak up the atmosphere. While you're in the area, make the short drive to Câmara de Lobos, a stunning fishing village about 15 minutes from Funchal, where Winston Churchill used to paint. The poncha bars along the harbor are legendary, the grill de espada is exceptional, and it costs very little. It's one of those places that makes you understand why people fall in love with Madeira. Accommodation-wise, Funchal has everything: budget guest houses, boutique hotels, and the iconic Reed's Palace on the clifftop, which has been welcoming guests since 1891. If a splurge is on the cards, afternoon tea on that terrace is unforgettable. From Funchal, you can reach almost anywhere on the island within an hour to 90 minutes, so your flexibility is maximum. Funchal is for first-timers, couples, foodies, and anyone who wants culture, great restaurants, and easy logistics. The only trade-off, if you want total peace and quiet and wild, untouched Madeira, Funchal is a city. It's not hectic, but it's busy, and in peak season, the popular spots fill up fast. Quick pause. If you want everything you need for the perfect Madeira trip in one place, check the description below. I've linked all the places and activities mentioned in this video, plus a recommendation for a travel card called WISE, so you're not losing money on overseas fees. The West, Porto Moniz, Seixal, and Calheta. Now the West, and this is where Madeira gets seriously dramatic. The western coastline is wilder, the cliffs are higher, the roads are more winding, and the crowds are noticeably thinner. If you want to feel like you've found a side of Madeira that most tourists just drive through without stopping, the West is your answer. Porto Moniz is the West's star attraction and one of the most searched places on the entire island. And once you see it, you'll understand why. Its natural volcanic lava pools, carved out of ancient lava flows and filled by the Atlantic, are completely unlike anything else in Europe. Turquoise water surrounded by black rock, with waves crashing around you. It's one of those places that genuinely stops you in your tracks. Go in the morning before the tour buses arrive, and you'll practically have it to yourself. Just along the coast, Seixal has one of Madeira's most dramatic black sand beaches, natural swimming pools, and the Véu da Noiva waterfall, which tumbles straight down the cliff face directly onto the coastline. It's jaw-dropping, and it's one of the most photographed spots on the island. And then there's Faial Forest, an ancient UNESCO-listed laurel forest on the plateau above the west coast that feels completely otherworldly. When the mist rolls in around those twisted, centuries-old trees, It's like walking into a fairy tale. Just be aware it now requires paid entry and advance booking, which is actually worth doing because it keeps the crowds manageable and the experience special. Further south, Calheta deserves a mention for one very specific reason. It has Madeira's only proper sandy beach. Because here's the thing nobody tells first-timers. Madeira is a volcanic island, and it doesn't really do sandy beaches. The coastline is mostly dramatic lava rock and cliffs. If a beach day is non-negotiable for you, Calheta is your answer, and it's a genuinely lovely spot. Staying in the west means waking up to mist over the mountains, hiking before the crowds arrive, and eating at tiny local restaurants where the menu is whatever was caught that morning. Accommodation is mostly rural guest houses, small hotels, and Airbnbs. Far more limited than Funchal, so book early. São Vicente on the northern edge of the west is actually one of the most practical bases in this whole region. Well-positioned, charming, and great for accessing both the west coast and the north. The west is for adventurers, hikers, surfers, photographers, and anyone who wants to feel genuinely immersed in the landscape. You'll need a car. More on that in a moment. The north, Santana, São Vicente, and Faial. And now the north, Madeira's most underrated area, and the one that consistently surprises people the most. Because the island's central mountain range catches the clouds, the north gets more moisture, more drama, and extraordinary scenery. In practical terms, it rains a little more, but it also means the north is absurdly, almost impossibly green. Waterfalls around every corner, terraced hillsides covered in vines. Vegetation so lush, it feels almost prehistoric. Santana is the north's most famous village, and searches for it have gone through the roof in recent years. And it's easy to see why. The iconic triangular thatched houses, called palheiros, painted in bright colors and set against a backdrop of mountains and sea, are one of Madeira's most recognizable and photographed images. It's genuinely charming, and the surrounding countryside is some of the most beautiful on the island. For hikers, the north is arguably the best base on the entire island. Pico do Arrieiro and Pico Ruivo, Madeira's highest peaks, are accessed from this side of the island, and the legendary PR1 trail connecting them is one of the most spectacular hikes in Europe. Just note it's been closed for trail restoration following wildfires and is expected to reopen in 2026. Worth checking before you go. Faial is a quieter, more local alternative to Santana. Less touristy, brilliant for levada walks, and with a genuinely off-the-beaten-path feel that's increasingly hard to find on an island growing as fast as Madeira is right now. The North Coast Road itself is an experience. Driving through tunnels cut into cliffs, past waterfalls falling directly onto the road, through tiny villages perched impossibly on the mountainside. The north is for travelers who want to escape. Less tourists, more authenticity, extraordinary nature on your doorstep. The trade-off is that Funchal is around 45 minutes to an hour away, and some areas have fewer amenities. But most people who stay in the north say they didn't miss any of it. Before my final verdict, there is a completely free travel planner linked in the description below, and I genuinely want you to use it. It covers flights, transport, accommodation, budget planning, packing lists, and more. It's free, it's comprehensive, and it will save you hours of planning. Link is below. So where should you stay? Here's the honest answer. It depends on you. First time in Madeira? Want flexibility, great food and culture? Stay in Funchal. Nature lover, adventurer, want wild coastline and volcanic lava pools? Head to the west. Base yourself in Porto, Moniz, or São Vicente. Hiker, want lush green landscapes and the most atmospheric version of Madeira? The north. Santana and Faial will absolutely deliver. Or split your time. A few nights in Funchal, then move somewhere more rural. Madeira isn't huge, and moving once during a week-long trip is very easy. One thing applies to all three areas. Hire a car. Funchal you can manage without one for a couple of days, but the west and north are simply not doable without your own transport. Book in advance, go small and easy to maneuver, and don't underestimate the mountain roads. They're dramatic, but totally manageable once you settle in. Whatever you choose, Madeira is one of those destinations that gets under your skin fast. People go for a week and start looking at property. You'll understand exactly why the moment you arrive. If this video helped you, please give it a like. Share it with anyone planning a Madeira trip. Subscribe so you don't miss everything else I've got coming. And hit the bell to get notified every time I release a new video. There is so much more Madeira content on the way, and you are going to want to stick around for it. See you in the next one.